Hi, Warren Grant here, and I thought I'd share with you one of the projects I'm working on. It's still very much a work in progress. It's very slow going at its current stage, so I'm working on it in bits here and there. But I'm building a font that will let a user type in Egyptian hieroglyphics. Now, from what I understand, currently, if you've got a scholar or a student studying ancient Egypt and they want to enter Egyptian hieroglyphics into a document, they have to use a third-party program in order to do that. They have to open up a separate program, compose the thing that they want, and then it'll save it as a graphic and they can put it in their document. And I thought it ought to be possible to create a font that will do all that natively inside of your word processor. And I did some tests here and there, and I found a font that contained the actual glyphs for ancient Egypt that somebody had built, but there was no way to actually use it. It was, at best, very limited. Now, one of the problems with Egyptian hieroglyphics is the fact that they compose them in a particular way. They stack them on top of each other in some cases, and there's a lot of various rules on how the writing was used. And of course it was written by hand or painted, so they didn't have the limitations of having to try and do it on the computer. So I happen to own this Gardiner's Egyptian Grammar. I picked it up quite a few years ago, and I thought it would be an interesting project to see if I can create a font that will reproduce all of the hieroglyphics that are in this book, or at least as much as possible. So I've started working on that. I've got it quite a long ways along, but it still needs work. However, I will put it up on my Patreon page so that people can download it and play with it if they're interested, and give me feedback on what's working and what isn't working, or what's clear or not clear in the documentation that I've included with it. And as I update it, I will be putting newer versions of it up, etc. It's going to take a long time. It takes a lot of work to build all this stuff into the font. But I thought I'd show you just one example of how it works and let you see what I'm working on. So I thought I would start by showing you how to write the name Cleopatra. Now, in ancient Egypt, a royal name was often enclosed in what's called a cartouche. It's a shape around the name. And the fact that they did that was one of the things that helped Champollion, who originally deciphered ancient Egyptian, to figure out how it was working. So to write the name Cleopatra, let's hope I can get this right here, we start with a less than sign, which begins the cartouche. Then we type in Q, and we want to stack it with an L, so we put a colon L, and it stacks it. Then we hit underscore to keep adding to the cartouche. We hit I, underscore O, underscore P, A, underscore, no, see I've made a mistake there, underscore A, underscore D, stack it with an R, underscore A, underscore T, and we're going to stack it with the H8 symbol, which indicates royalty, and I believe female royalty. And then we're going to end it with the greater than, which ends off the cartouche. So as you can see, that's a little awkward, but this is not something that a standard font can normally do, to allow you to stack things like that and select specific signs and things like that. So it's all been programmed into this font that I've created. And the programming is using Adobe OpenType font scripting. and it allows you to compose characters like this using a specific set of rules. And I'm afraid I'm not able to really whip it off and do it quickly myself, because I'm more focused on creating the system than on actually using it. Anyway, this is the way ancient Egyptians would write Cleopatra, and my font is capable of doing it. So that's just one thing that this font will do. Currently, it has all of the glyphs that were in Gardiner's sign list built into it. You can enter the name of the glyph, H8 for that egg symbol that was in the video there, for instance, and it will display it. It supports the 2-letter combination, 3-letter combinations, all the way up to, I think, 4-letter combinations at the moment, from all the combos that I could find. You can indicate damaged area in a text by putting hash marks over it. It's got a lot of features built into it, and it's using basically the system called the Manuel de Codage, which was what is traditionally used to enter Egyptian hieroglyphics. It's just that you don't need third-party software. You can do it right inside your word processor. So if you find this interesting, if you've actually watched it all the way through to this point in the video, and you'd like to support me, please go to my Patreon and sponsor me. It's just $1. And that'll help me be able to spend more time on this project and get it to completion. As I said, I will post it on the Patreon page. You can go and download it and play with it if you're interested in it. It is a work in progress. It's not complete. There's a pile of work still to be done on it, and it's very slow going, so I have to do it in little bits here and there, or I'd quite frankly go insane. It's really tedious at the stage I'm at right here. The early part was fascinating. This part is plodding. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this, and have a great day. Bye.